Eric here. What I want to share with you now, I call um, one leg at a time. And so that's what I used to always say, is like, they put on one leg at a time. So this is my one leg at a time story for you. When I was younger, I always wanted to be a U.S. Senator. I thought that I wanted to be a politician. Um, I would later know that that was more governed more by a desire for power and things that aren't so important to me anymore. But back then, when I was a kid, when I was younger, it was like early college days, um, I really wanted to be a U.S. Senator. So, where I come from, I'm the kid who they said was mentally retarded and emotionally disturbed, and I want to be a U.S. Senator. And so, and even though I had long since proven that that was an incorrect labeling, um, to be a U.S. Senator, how do you become a U.S. Senator? Well, I don't know. It's like I didn't know how to become a U.S. Senator, so I wrote my U.S. Senator and said, "Hey, I want your job someday, but I don't know how to. I don't know how to get it. I don't know how to become a U.S. Senator." It's like, can you help me? Is like, and one of his aides, I guess, was amused by the letter and wrote me back a letter saying, "Why don't you apply for a position in our office?" So I did. Um, I applied for a position as like into U.S. Senator Dennis DeConcini's office, and and I went there with the belief that politicians, senators, ambassadors, presidents, all these people in high positions in power must be exceptionally brilliant human beings. You just have to be like brilliant, and my God, it's like, how could I ever be like them? It's like coming from my humble beginnings. Some would say my lowly beginnings. I'll say humble. My humble beginnings. How could I ever be like them? And then I went to work for one. And this is not reflective of former U.S. Senator Dennis DeConcini. This is just reflective of what I learned. And that's what I call the one leg at a time understanding. And that was that in these positions of power, whether they be male or female, smart or brilliant, dumb, ignorant, racist, prejudiced, everyone puts their leg on, they put their pants on one leg at a time. You heard me. Everybody puts their pants on one leg at a time. Whether you're the fastest man in the world, whether you're the slowest man in the world, whether you're fat, whether you're strong, whether you're weak, whether you're brilliant, everybody puts their pants on one leg at a time. And then I realized that not only does everybody put their pants on one leg at a time, but that all these people that I thought were so great, as like and so special, they were just ordinary like you and me. You and me. Not significantly different. There were some who were smart, there were some who were dumb, there were some that were funny, there were some who had no sense of humor at all. It's like there were some who were kind, there were some who were mean. It's like they fit every gamut. And that should tell you something also. They fit every gamut. So if they fit every gamut, that means you can fit every gamut. I can fit every gamut. It's like we all put our pants on one leg at a time. And we are all capable of fulfilling our dreams. I don't know if you ever saw is like that cartoon. If you have kids, maybe you've seen Monster University or Monster U. And And in it, I don't remember the little round guy is like, who, little round character with the big eye, but he wants to be a scarer so bad. He wants to be a scarer with his friend Sully, and so, um, and so, and he's got the heart and he's got the passion, but nobody sees it. Nobody sees it in him, and so, and by a fluke of circumstances, he ends up in some fraternity that is filled with a lot of people who you wouldn't consider scary, but they are all competing in some competition. Competing in a competition, and if they win this competition, then they'll be allowed to be in the scare program. So, there comes a time when you are not what everybody else thinks you're supposed to be, and the whole world is turned against you, and everybody is just saying, well, you just give up. You're just not this. You're just not that. And the weight of the world just comes down on you, and you just begin to succumb and to give in to that. Well, similarly, is like in that cartoon, is like the character team gives in to all the pressure, all the ridicule, all the disbelief. And so that guy takes him to to the scare factory where they collect the stuff. Scream is like Scream to power their power supply, is their power supply. And as they're viewing the different scarers that are coming onto the scare floor and going through their doors to scare their little victims and come back out, as they're going through that process, they notice that all the different scarers are different. They have different styles, they have different techniques, they don't look the same. And they had a big epiphany, so to speak. They wouldn't have called it an epiphany, but they had a big aha moment where they realized that, you know what? They're all different. They're all unique. We don't have to be the same. And there is no quote-unquote formula for being a scarer. By analogy, I'm sharing with you that whatever your dream is, whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, there is no specific formula for what a scientist looks like, what a senator looks like, what a president looks like, what a botanist looks like, what a florist looks like, what a mechanic looks like, what a construction worker looks like, what an attorney looks like, what a physician looks like, what their background should be, what their socioeconomic should be, what their culture should be. But we sometimes allow outside beliefs of others put us into a box and discredit and cut ourselves out. Maybe you were one of those people. Maybe you had beliefs and dreams and goals and hopes, but you were told you were raised in the wrong family. You didn't have enough money. You were born in the wrong country. You were too tall or too fat or too this or too whatever. And so you stop believing. But that hunger is still inside of you. Remember, we all put our pants on, one leg at a time. We all put our pants on, one leg at a time. And because of that, you too should know that no matter what you've allowed yourself to believe because of the influence of other people's and your own doubt and disbelief or discouragement or just being tired of swimming upstream, no matter what it was that stopped you from believing, stopped you from pursuing, stopped you from achieving, striving after your goal, your heart, your passion, that thing that you just know, my God, I just know I was born to do, I'm here to help you get there. And I'm willing to listen because I really care. My purpose, the reason why I do what I do is because I care. I really want to know you, and I really want you to be free to express yourself, to be who you are. I'm not going to be the person to tell you no. I'm not your mother. I'm not your father. I'm not your culture. I'm not your society. I'm not your pastor. I'm not your church. I'm not any force or group of people that, maybe with well intention, maybe not. You never know what someone's intention is for telling you no, you can't do it. Sometimes people tell you no, you can't do it because they couldn't do it. They didn't believe. They stopped believing. And if you end up doing it, then they begin to second guess themselves. That they should have done it, they could have done it, but they didn't do it. So I'm not going to get into why people do what they do. What I'm going to say to you is that I'm Eric Anthony Jones. And I'm here for you. And I'm here to tell you that whatever it was that you were told you can't do, I'm telling you that you can do if you want it bad enough. When you were told it's impossible and we can't find a way, I'm telling you, let's put our heads together and let's find a way. I don't believe that it's impossible. I believe in possibility. I don't believe that in scarcity. In regards to there are finite things in the universe, yes, but we are beings with infinite possibility. And when you have infinite possibility, you can take the finite and do something with it that was never thought of before. So, thanks for listening. And that's my one leg at a time story.